friends, it's Kayla and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. Today we are building a base game only family house on the Daisy Hovel lot. This is the family that I was talking about in my grandparents starter home video, where I figured maybe the grandparents downsized and wanted to live near their grandkids, and this is the house that said grandkids live in. And I decided to use a reference image on Pinterest. I'll go ahead and try to remember to put it in the comments below, but I really liked the bump out in the front, and I also loved all of the blue. I don't want to completely change the original idea of each lot, and this lot did have yellow and blue in the colors, so that's sort of the original aspect that I kept for it. So moving on, we are working on the roofing right now. It actually came together quite easily for me, which is a shocker because I am not the best at roofing, but I just went ahead and added an upstairs, so because of that it does look a little bit different than the reference picture. I wanted a little more space up there for some bedrooms, and then on the left of the house is a carport. I didn't want to do a garage because sometimes it's just not easy to make a garage look like a garage, so instead I went with a carport, and I think that it came out well. It just houses some workout equipment and things like that. For the interior, I wanted to make sure that I had at least a kid or teen room and a toddler room. So that is what we end up with. And then the parents' room is downstairs. And I feel like this is becoming a more popular or well-known floor plan, is to have the primary bedroom on a different floor, or at least on a different side of the house. So I went ahead and did that here. I gave the parents an ensuite bathroom and closet. And then I have the kids upstairs, and they have their own bathroom as well. The living area is actually one of my favorites. I love the kitchen. I think the kitchen came out really nicely, and then the living area I feel like is super cozy, and there's an office space, so I figured it's either used for school or one of the parents works from home. So now I'm just figuring out the interior, which honestly didn't take too long just because there really was only one space to put the stairs that made sense so that I could have usable space upstairs, and I kind of walled it off with a bathroom and split the house in two. And then upstairs we just have the 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, like I said, and I am going to start with the kitchen. I have never done a kitchen layout like this before, but I actually really enjoy the way that it looks. I've never had to use like any counter pieces that wrap around a corner. And right now I'm kind of jumping all around just trying to figure out the floor plan, so you'll see me placing some furniture just to remind myself what my plan is here. And this is where I realized I need to add a bathroom for the parents. There is also a guest bathroom on the first floor, so there's technically 3 bathrooms in this house, and I think that it works out really nicely. I love the dark wood with the blue accent, so that is sort of where we go today. We have the dark floor and then these dark base game cabinets, and I also love this tiling that we have in the base game, and it brought in some yellow, so that's kind of where the yellow from the previous exterior is coming into play. And so you'll see me doing blue and yellow throughout the entire house basically, except for the kids' rooms. So now I'm just going ahead, I'm decorating and cluttering, and I have to be honest, some of these spaces were so small it was really hard to see what I was doing, and upstairs, especially with the roof pieces in the way, I had kind of a difficult time. So I'm sorry if the cuts are super jumpy or if you just see me float away. It really is just because it was difficult for me to see in such small spaces. So as you can see here, I am giving the family all of the appliances I think they need. We've got a microwave and a coffee maker, and then we have this really cute dining area over here. For the entry, I decided just to keep it super simple because there's not a lot of space, and of course I put an alarm. And I also made sure to add area rugs so that the build wasn't so empty. And so now moving into the living room, I have this fireplace, which I really like. It's one of the newer fireplaces we got in the base game. And I decided to use the base game couches as well. I wanted to make sort of a blocked off seating area in a way since this space is so open. So I decided to use the love seats from base game and then clutter them with some pillows. And then over here we just have a little, just kind of like an accent table since I didn't really have any space to do that in the entryway. And here I'm adding some photos that I thought maybe are the kids, some black and white photos. And this is the office area. Another thing that you'll notice is that I have not put all the windows in yet. And that is because sometimes I find that putting the windows in first makes it a lot more difficult for me to do a floor plan. So I like to do the windows on the front, and then I will go ahead and add windows in later because I still want them to look good, but I don't want to be restricted by the windows when it comes to making the floor plan. So as you can see, we are using a lots of blue curtains in this build. I've never really used this swatch before, but I am a huge fan, and I am gonna clutter with some plants. I kept it super minimal. I say this 100 times, I think I'm like a broken record, but in my builds, I am not a huge fan of cluttering. A, I think it's because I get overwhelmed with all of the options, and B, I just don't love clutter in my real life, so it kind of translates into The Sims. So now we're working on the guest bathroom, and to be completely honest, I don't play test my builds, so I hope that this is functional. If it's not, I do apologize. And my dog is sneezing in the back, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. But I kept this bathroom pretty simple, and it just has a standing shower. And now moving on to the primary bedroom where the parents are, I wanted to bring in some fun wallpaper, so we're using this gingham, which has been one of my favorites to use, even with all of the packs installed. And I am keeping the blue theme going on in here. The reason why is because I just feel like the parents probably decorated the rest of the interior, so it makes sense for them to want a similar color theme or a similar style in their bedroom. And you'll see here, I noticed that we don't have enough room for a wardrobe, and that's when I came up with the idea to make a small ensuite bathroom and a small closet, a walk-in closet. So the parents don't have a bathtub, unfortunately, but it is what it is. They at least have an ensuite. But again, I hope this bathroom is playable. I am sorry. I tried to scooch everything as far into the wall as I could without it looking silly. And then for the closet, I decided to use these wall hanging clothes that we have and put a dresser underneath. So I think it came out really nice, and I'm happy with how the primary bedroom and everything attached looks, and I think the whole downstairs just looks really nice. Now we're moving upstairs, and this is the kids' bathroom. So they've got a full tub and a shower. Of course, you need a tub for toddlers, and also the parents can use it too. And I decided to use the blue tiles for them because they're children. They probably enjoy more of a colorful environment, and so I really leaned into the blue, and I gave them a double sink, which is also really cool. It's one of the nice things about having a bigger bathroom is you can really add more features like this. So again, kept it pretty simple, but it has all of the necessities, including the toddler potty, and I did add some art, because why not? And now we're into the toddler's room, and at first I really wanted to use this race car bed, but I had a really hard time finding a wallpaper that I liked with it that also felt like it was for a toddler. This was just a little boring to me, this wallpaper, so eventually I do go ahead and change out the bed, and I decide to also change the wallpaper to the really fun dinosaur swatch. So here I am deciding I'd rather use this bed, which is one of the newer beds with the base game update that I really enjoy. It's not as fun, but I made sure to make the rest of the room fun, so it's okay. So we have a bunch of dinosaur decorations. We've got the rug. I've got books for them. Yeah, just I feel like this is a really nice room for a toddler, and that they can grow into as a kid as well. So just adding some minimal clutter here, making sure that there's some toys available at least. Again, I don't play The Sims, so I'm not sure if you have everything that you need for this toddler, but I'm hoping that you do. And now moving on to the teens room, I thought that I was going to use this bed, but again, I just couldn't find a fun wallpaper that I enjoyed. So I instead decided to kind of make a space themed room. So this kid or teen, I'm going to say they're more like a tween, right? Like they're maybe in middle school. They love space and they love robots and they love purple. So that is kind of how I decorated this room. We've got these rocket ships, and I also decided to just have some really cool art here. I figured maybe it's from a TV show they watch, a cartoon, or, you know, they drew it. I don't know what you want to do with the storyline, but I'm just cluttering up a little bit here. We've got this really cute space rug, and then I wanted to make sure that it still looked like it was a room for a kid. So we've got some toys and a stuffed animal, of course. And then these curtains are so cute. I don't think I've ever used them before with the stars on them. In this hallway, I thought I was just going to decorate it with like a table or something. In the end, I kept it really simple with just some windows, a painting, as well as a rug. And now we're in the backyard, which is, I think, a really nice backyard. We've got a pool. I make a seating area for anyone who wants to eat outdoors and grill. We also do have a hot tub, and I just felt like we had enough space in this backyard to include that. So I did include the hot tub. You'll also see I kind of mess around with the gravel or the cement a lot because I just wanted to be able to fit everything, but also I didn't want it to look like there's a lot of empty space left. So here I am just cluttering this side table a little bit. I thought that this table was used to put food on and supplies while the parents were grilling. And here is that hot tub. So I decided to scooch the hot tub in the corner, and then we make a sand pit. And so if you didn't know, the terrain paint that is sand allows your Sims to make sand castles and just play around. So I used a little slide and a monkey bar set, and then I found a bucket and a shovel from Debug to put in the sand pit so that it looks like they were out there playing. And honestly, I don't have many activities besides those and then these workout equipment. I don't play The Sims. I don't know what your Sims need, but hopefully this is a good base for you guys to start with. And so now we're going to do some really basic landscaping. You'll kind of see me jump around because I've opened the debug catalog, and I am adding a grill brush, a lighter, and things like that. And then we're going to do the basic landscaping that I was just talking about. I didn't want to go too crazy just because there's a lot of flower boxes, and I wanted to kind of match the surroundings a little bit. So I changed the flowers to be more of an orangey flower. But that is basically it for this build. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please subscribe and thumbs up. And don't forget to check out my other build called the Grandparents Starter Home so that you can see what the neighbor's house looks like, and maybe you'd enjoy kind of playing the storyline that I've come up with here. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.